Good morning.
Hi, Chloe. How's it going?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I'm actually not doing bad right now.
Good, good to hear.
We got a lot of people here today. We have 5 people total, which is a shame. Today's class is either gonna be. We'll see how today's. Okay, so for those of you who are here, okay, we have 8 people now. A minute ago we had like 3 people, and I was like, uh-oh. Okay, so how's it going, everyone? So today we are going to take a look at some roller coasters. So what I want you to do first. Oh yes, there is also a. Okay, so today we are going to be looking at roller coasters, and to do that, here is the link to the doc, I guess, that we're working on today, that we're going to be filling out as we go through today's lesson. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about what are some things that you think roller coaster engineers need to consider in order to make the ride work and safe to ride. I'm gonna link for those of you just joining us. Here's the link to the graphic organizer that we're working on. So what I want you to do is I want you to answer. I want you to have it opened up. I want you to answer this question: when designing a roller coaster, what are some things that you think engineers need to consider in order to both make the ride work and safe to ride? One person said OSHA. The Safety and Health. What is it called? Office of Safety and Health Administration, which is actually they're very competent at their job, I have to say. Um, I don't know if OSHA actually I don't know if OSHA actually this falls under OSHA's jurisdiction. I think OSHA is there to protect the employees. I don't think it's necessarily there to protect the guests. I'm not really sure. Um, but yeah, that is a very good idea. I'm very curious. So um, those of you just joining us, open the doc in the chat. It's linked like a bunch of times, and then it's also on Canvas. Roller coaster exploration on Canvas. And what I want you to do is I want you to think about when designing a roller coaster, what are some things that you think engineers need to consider in order to both make the ride work and safe the ride. Um, what I want you to do is I want you to start thinking about it and then have your answer written out. But don't hit enter yet. Say we'll hit enter around 8:50 or so. So give you about 3 minutes to write that out. For those of you just joining us, open the link in the chat. That is the exploration we're going to be doing today. And then we're looking at the warm-up question here. Just when designing a roller coaster, what are some things that you think engineers need to consider in order to both make the ride work and safe to ride? We'll take about 2 minutes or so. So think about what you think are some things you need to consider. And then don't hit enter yet. We'll hit enter at around 8:50. I mean, I'm very curious to see here what everyone has to say about what are some things engineers need to consider. We'll take about another minute or so. So I want you to write out what your what you think are some things engineers need to consider. Don't hit enter yet. Hit enter in a minute or so. For those of you just joining us, there's an exploration on Canvas called Roller Coaster Exploration. Open that up, working on the warm-up right now, and we're gonna have everyone share their responses in about 30 seconds. We'll quickly go through the question here. Think about some things engineers need to consider in order to both make the ride work and safe to ride. All right, we're going to hit enter in 10 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What are some things that you engineer? Let's go. Let's hit enter. Let's hit enter. Let's hit enter. Got a lot of ideas. Hit enter. Oh, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 ideas here. Can we get some more? Can we get some more? 6. That's 6. We have 30 people here. Let's get more than 6 ideas here. Today's class, we're going to need a lot of audience participation. So let's even get to, oh, we got 8. Okay, let's start reading through some of these. So in roller coaster engineers, they need to worry about the amount of G forces that will be exerted on the riders. They also need to consider how quickly the ride turns so the riders don't get whiplash. Yeah, that's really good. We'll take a look at that today. Yes, we will take a look at it. The Indian roller coaster has plenty of momentum, so it doesn't get stuck. The passengers don't experience too many G's of force. That the passengers don't get whiplash. That there is an effective stopping mechanism. That the passengers are secure in the tracks and the car can't go off the tracks. Yep, pretty much. That's exactly what needs to happen. I think they need to consider how the velocity and acceleration could affect the roller coaster over time, as well as the people riding it. Yeah, that's very true. The ADA also, is that the American Disability Act? I'm not really sure. But also potential and kinetic force, so the roller coaster moves, braking mechanism, so the ride doesn't go too fast at a given moment. Timing if there are multiple cars, a design that gives the roller coaster enough energy to complete the track, and is also interesting, wheels and attachment to track that are both safe and have the right amount of friction. Safety harnesses, safeguards, don't let it go fast enough where it goes out of control. Don't let the framework be low enough where you can hit your head. To make it work, you need to have sufficient downhill and uphill. Engineers need to consider the effects of gravity, the force at which the roller coaster stops so that people don't get hurt, and how much the roller coaster needs to accelerate to keep moving over hills. Air resistance, gravity, acceleration, velocity of the roller coaster, total mass. Sufficient potential energy at the top of the hill to let the ride finish the course. Make sure it doesn't get stuck anywhere. Centrifugal force. Enough intensity, but not too much to make it ride enjoyable. Too high of G force is equal to brain death. I believe engineers will have to worry about the fastest speed the ride can go without derailing. It cannot go too slow or too fast. It must have enough room to stop this end acceleration. I remember at Six Flags, there was one ride that was essentially a centrifuge at the end of the seat, and it caused the rider and the kid behind me to pass out. So engineers need to think about not making the riders catch too much G's unexpectedly to prevent things like that from happening. Ooh, I think we have some really good ideas today. I think you guys are going to enjoy today's lesson. Okay, so today's class is, let me put it this way. It's either going to be the most fun and craziest class we've ever done, or it's going to be a complete disaster. Or it could be somewhere in the middle. We'll see. But regardless, to make this class go smoothly, we're going to try to get some, let's see if we can get a lot of, let's see if we can get the chat popping off today, because at 4K, no loose dose, I have no idea what that means. But today, get your gamer faces on, because we're gonna be doing some gaming today. So why not both? Best class and MS. Exactly. That is exactly what this class is like. If we're in person, would we be doing the marble roller coaster thing? Could be. We could. I think normally we might do a marble roller coaster thing, but today we are actually going to be doing something different. That is correct. We are going to be doing some roller coaster tycoon. So today we're gonna be playing Roller Coaster Tycoon. Now, however, there is a purpose to this. It's not just because I like Roller Coaster Tycoon. Also, this is really weird. Okay, here we go. Okay, so today we're gonna be playing some Roller Coaster Tycoon, and then we're actually gonna be learning some of the physics behind it. Because this is I don't know how good the quality of the stream will be. So we'll see. Um, and there's also like a lot of things going on. Okay. Keep seeing some stuff like, okay. So so Roller Coaster Tycoon, if you don't know, is a game where you essentially build roller coasters. And today we are going to be building Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and not, this is Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. Um, don't disrespect Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. Okay, so today we're gonna be looking at a few different roller coasters. So today we're gonna be building a bobsled. I think I said we're gonna be building a bobsled coaster. We're going to be building a looping roller coaster. Let's go with this one, looping roller coaster. And then we're also going to be building we're also going to be building the Tunnel of Horror. So we're going to be building these 3 roller coasters today. If you can't see anything or something's going wrong, just let me know. That is important to get the stream going well. Okay. So so the first thing we need, let's think, which one do we want to build first? Let's build a bobsled coaster first. So these are some examples of what these roller coasters can look like. Some of these are pretty insane. I am not that talented of a roller coaster designer, so we're just going to build a custom design here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do here is let's change our view. Let's take a look here. Right now you can't. Right now everything looks weird. So we're gonna show. So let's see, what do we want? There are some little boxes in the way of the view. It's not too bad, but boxes. It could be the game itself. I'm not sure. The game does have a lot of boxes, so that is. I think that. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna build a station, and in this station here is just basically where the people get on and off. So we're gonna build 2 little sections here, just so like 3 little sections here, where people can get on and off. The next thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna start building the first hill for our roller coaster. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build a section here, and then we're gonna start going up. So we are going to try to make this go as high as we can. So we're gonna try to make this go as high as we can, because higher roller coasters are fun. So right now this is at what, 185 feet? That's pretty high up. We actually can't go any higher here because it's too high for supports. So we're gonna make it go flat here, and then we're gonna make it go down really quickly. It's a Zoom thing. I'll email you a picture. Okay. Is anyone else having issues with it? I can also link the YouTube link. I'm also streaming on YouTube right now. If you want to look there, it might be better. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is
it's because you have Zoom on the like designed for full screen sharing setting, so we can see like grayed out boxes where the like share screen menu is at the top and bottom of your screen. That's just what it is.
okay, it's working fine for you. Okay.
It's just like a gray box at the top of the screen. It's not like a big deal.
Okay.
It just
If
means that
it's
we
not
can't see.
impacting,
Yeah. It just
okay,
means that
as
we
long as you
can't
can
see
see
what
what's
you have
going on.
blocked. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start making this roller coaster go down, because down is fun, and we're gonna make it go down really, really, really fast. So we're gonna make it try to go down as fast as we can here, and eventually, see it. Okay. Eventually, it's gonna hit the ground here, and then we're gonna make it go flat here. Now what we could, and the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna build a second hill, something like this, and then we're gonna go flat. Now we're gonna make it go down again. So we're gonna build a little second hill for the people, and then we're gonna make this go back. This is a pretty. So pretty big coaster. So now we're gonna build our entrance. We're gonna build an exit. Okay, so let's take a look at our roller coaster here. Right, so it's pretty simple. We just got one big hill here. We got a smaller hill here, and then it just loops back around. So if you were buying tickets for this roller coaster, it would probably be one of the lamest ones. It could be one of the lamest ones you've ever ridden. Though you'll see that maybe it's actually a little bit more fun. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna turn up to fast speed, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a quick test. So I'm gonna test this thing. That's my type of this is my type of roller coaster. Honestly, I'm at the stage in my life where this is kind of my stage too. Okay, so here we are. Got our bobsled coasters going up. Oh, did anyone see that? Who saw that? Who saw that? Who saw that? Let's get a second test run here. Let's get a second test run here. I don't know if any of you saw that. No, it's lagging. Okay, if it's lagging really badly here, you can also try the YouTube link. Okay. This is the YouTube stream. You saw nothing and menu was in the way. Okay, hold on. I'm trying. Please forgive me. There's also the YouTube link that I'm linking. That the stream quality might actually be better there. Zoom is kind of like I'm sure this is pretty choppy. I think this YouTube one should be better. Okay, so I'm gonna test it one more time. Oh, sorry, I sent the link privately, not the whole chat. I'm sorry. Here we go. This is the YouTube stream link. I think it should be better there if you're having issues with the quality of the stream here. Again, in a perfect world, we would have done this on Twitch, and then I would have collected all of your donations and stuff and subscriptions and stuff, and then just pocketed the money, being a horrible human being. But I'm not quite a horrible human being yet. Yeah, well, actually, I am. Look, if you look at this roller coaster, I actually kind of am a horrible human being. These poor people are definitely dead from this. Okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna do another test one more time, just because I know some of you weren't able to see it because kind of incompetent. We're gonna test this one more time. So we got a roller coaster. Actually, I'm gonna slow this down a little bit. It's going up. It's going fast, and boom. I think somebody died there. Somebody died there, and somebody died there. Okay, so there's a lot of people who died. Not ideal, not ideal. As a roller coaster engineer, you generally don't want people dying. Last time I checked. So there's definitely a bit of an issue here. So what I want you to do now is I want you to think about why is this first. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about why is this roller coaster failing? What's the issue here? It's laggy on YouTube too, but I believe that they died. I'm sorry that it's laggy. I might just have like a ton of stuff going. I think I have a ton of stuff going on here. You're gonna have to forgive me. One day I'll be able to figure it out. Or it could be just that I'm just like streaming this in way too many places at once, and then it's like failing. Okay, but yes, it is lagging. Okay, I'm trying. But yeah, but the general gist of it is they flew off the second hill. They went up this first hill here, and then they went down, and then they flew it up. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about and write down in the in your little graphic organizers and share with me, because I like reading it, why this first roller coaster is failing. Why are these people falling off? We got one idea so far, but I'm not going to read it yet. So I want you to give you a chance to think about why is it failing to go over the why is it failing to go over the second hill? Why is it flying off? It is going too fast, but like what does that mean? Like why would going too fast? Like what's the issue with that? So I want you to think about why it's going too fast. And then what we're going to do is we're going to build a second version of this that's going to be more successful, I think. Ooh, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Those are some good ideas. Yep, I like those ideas. Um, that's actually so Jackson, are you a roller coaster fanatic? I think you know a lot of I think you know a lot about roller coasters. Um, you okay? You guys, I feel like you guys know a lot. So I couldn't really see, but I think the bobsled is going too fast because when the roller coaster went off the hill, um, when they go if they fly pickups, there's minimal friction. Okay, so let's see. So is the peak too high, which results in too much G-force? Could be, could be. I think if anything, the peak is. I feel like if anything, the gravity isn't strong enough. So that's what a lot of my people are saying. The gravity isn't strong enough to hold it down at the velocity. It fell off because it was so fast that gravity couldn't keep it on the track. These are some good ideas. The second hill is too short, which means the sleigh is going too fast at the bottom of the hill, which means that there's a negative G-force atop the hill. The bobsleigh isn't actually connected to the track, unlike some other actual roller coasters. Hence the detachment, as opposed to a simply super whiplashy hill that would have the car stay on the track. That is actually a really good idea. So the thing about the bobsleigh coaster is the coaster itself is not attached to the track. So you have to design your hill specifically so that way it can actually stay on the track. I couldn't really see, but I think the bobsled is going too fast because so that when they go over the hill, they fly off because there's minimal friction, which means the bobsled is less grounded and has greater potential to fly away. I think the bobsled flew off the hill because the first hill created too much potential energy, so hit the second ground hill with too much acceleration, meaning that the force of acceleration is larger than the gravity pulling it down. I think it flew off the hill because the first hill's decline increased the car's velocity to the point that the car's momentum flew it off, made it fly off the rails. Interesting. Interesting. These are all some good ideas. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna try to fix this roller coaster. So I think most of you pointed out the issue is that the coaster is going too fast here. Gravity isn't able to pull us down. There's a few ways we can remedy this. What we could do is we could just make the second hill a little bit bigger. So that way the bobsleigh goes slower down this part. But I think it might be better and safer to actually make this first hill a little bit smaller, quite a bit smaller. So let's go through this hill here, and we're gonna go to construction, and then we're gonna try to remove parts of it. We're gonna start deleting this part right here. Okay, wait, we're gonna go to honestly, it might be faster for us to just rebuild it, to build it from scratch. Um, okay, as you can tell, this roller coaster is a clear failure. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna demolish this. Okay, we're just gonna demolish it. We're gonna start from scratch. So we're gonna build another coaster here, and then this time it's gonna be more successful. Um, where is it? Yeah, here we go. So we're gonna build our station. And this time we're gonna build our hill, but it's not going to be as big. So we're gonna make it go up. And then I think we're just gonna end it here. So this time the hill is not nearly as big. And then we're gonna make it go into a second hill. Go down. Now we're gonna make it go all the way around again. So hopefully you can see it, but it looks the first hill is gonna be a lot smaller. And let's see if we can make this work this time. We're gonna build our entrance here for people to get in, and then we're gonna build our exit here. Okay, so let's see we made a quick adjustment to this ride. Let's see if this one works this time. Oh, it's still okay. Okay, so clearly I still messed up here. So clearly they're still going too fast on this first hill here. We're gonna have to make another adjustment here. We're gonna have to try to fix this. Okay, so the issue is that this first hill here is still too high. I thought I actually made it a lot better, but it's still too high. So we're gonna need to fix this. We're gonna need to make it a lot smaller. Oh. SMH. Don't SMH me. That's a little disrespectful. Why not make the second hill small? I could also make the small. Oh, okay, okay. We have a good idea. Why not make the second hill smaller? Why not make the distance between the first hill and second hill longer? Those are some good ideas. Why don't we just try to do as much of them as we can? Okay, I need to build. Make the second hill larger. Okay, okay, I get your point. Why can I not rebuild a section here? I don't understand. Okay, here we go. So why not make the first hill larger? Oh, why not make the maybe don't have a curve immediately after the ramp. Yes, yes, these are all some good ideas. I think the initial design was to purposely fail, but now I'm having a hard time actually succeeding. So I'm gonna make this first one take it like this. So the first hill's gonna be pretty small. We're going to increase the distance between the two hills, as someone said. Okay, I think that's good. And then I think this is good. The first hill is going to be smaller. There's more distance between the hills. Maybe don't have a curve immediately after the ramp. That's a good idea too. That's a good idea too. Unfortunately, I'm not about good ideas. I'm all about bad ideas. So let's see. When you make a curve, try banking it so the forces are intense. It will flow better. Yes, banking it is a great idea. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Right? If we were actually building a good roller coaster, we would definitely bank the turn. As of right now, I think we're just going to try to make this one work. Yes, you do want to bank your turns. You want to make your second hill smaller. There we go. There we go. Did anyone see that? Did anyone see that? There we go. Oh, that was beautiful. It was this is so successful. So successful. As you can tell, I'm a very experienced roller coaster engineer. Okay, so now that we succeeded after I took all of your ideas here, well, I took some of them. I know some of them would work better, like banking it and making the curve less sharp. Unfortunately, we're not going to do a several hour playthrough of this. But what I want you to do is I want you to just quickly jot down what are some of the things that we tried that made it work, and why do you think those changes helped? So. But this look at this. It's working so well. So as you are writing down the changes we made, I'm gonna start setting up our second coaster here. So the second one we are going to do is let's do the Ghost Mansion ride. We're gonna do this one. It's called it's a gentle ride. And as you can tell, it still looks pretty cool. We're gonna do a custom design here once again. Okay. So as you're going through it, I'm gonna start setting up a second coaster here. Once again here, we are going to have a kind of an interesting show. I have an interesting show for you guys. Make a nice big hill. All right. So hopefully you're able to just quickly jot down some of the things we changed and why you think those worked. Whenever you're ready, I want you to take a look at the second coaster here, and I want you to tell me whether or not you think this thing will work. Let's get some predictions in here. Do we think this roller coaster is going to work? No. What? Have some faith in me. I'm a teacher. I know my stuff. No, it's going to crash at the turn. No, you're going to crash at the turn. It won't work because the turn is too soon. You guys have so little. That turn is a death trap. Realistically, going to die the turn. I think it will not work as the close turn up the hill might make it fail. You guys have because Mr. Who designed it. That is honestly disrespectful. I'm a teacher. I'm experienced. I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to prove to you that this roller coaster definitely works. Right. So when you do a quick test here, first year teacher. That's honestly kind of her. Teacher, not a roller coaster tycoon. That's true. That's true. Okay, we're gonna test this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this go. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, damn. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So it looks like we're having a little bit of trouble here. I think you guys nailed it, Lamau. I think you guys nailed it. So why? So basically we were right. So the goal was to kill them, so it was technically succeeded. Hey, this is a PG game. This is a rated G game. You should have bet my paycheck on this. No way. Okay, so I know that most of you have a sort of understand that, if the turn is too soon, it's going too fast. But why do you think that it matters that we're going too fast? Like, why do you think that going too fast into a turn would allow it to fail? So I want you to take a couple of minutes here, and I want you to quickly jot down, rated G for gamer. I want you to jot down why you think going too fast before a turn makes it fail. I know we all understand that. I think that's the idea that we all understand. The question is, why does it matter? Like, why can't this roller coaster go through a turn that fast, right? It's easy to say it's going to fail, but why is it going to fail? What's the issue there? Why can't it make that turn that quickly? Because as you can tell, I can clearly build the roller coaster like this. So why is it going to fail? For those of you who want some more entertainment, I'm doing another few test runs here. Oh, I don't know why it's not testing. Because we got a good idea here. I want to hear some ideas. You guys know your physics. Wow, I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed. Let's get some more ideas here. I'm really impressed with what you guys are saying. Yes, you should. No. Yes. Write these into the ghost train section. We're on the second one. Yeah, the ghost train. So this is what some people are saying. So one of the good ideas is that because monkeys Pepe hands, I don't know what that means. Because the cars want to continue moving in the same direction. Yes. You need more force to stop the coaster from going forward, I think. I'm not sure if this is the most scientific explanation, but velocity is speed plus a direction, and the direction at the end of the hill was super straight. So upon the super sharp turn, the velocity of the coaster was still largely one direction, despite the track having changed direction, and that failed. Really interesting, yeah. So the idea is that, right, the velocity of the cart or the car is going straight, but you're trying to make it turn really fast. And so because it's going too fast and an object in motion will stay in motion, it also wants to continue moving in the same direction. So going too fast for a forward turn makes it more difficult to change the velocity, which includes speed and direction, hence why the turn fails. The counter force of the turn isn't strong enough to slow it down. These are some really good ideas. Yes, I'm going to say yes. Those are some good ideas. Those pretty much explain why it's failing to go through the turn. There's not enough counter force. It's too hard to change the speed and the direction because it wants to stay in motion. It wants to continue in the same direction. So I know it's super easy to criticize Mr. Who's horrible roller coaster abilities, but how can we help Mr. Who fix his roller coaster so that it works? What would you guys recommend to Mr. Who to fix his roller coaster? What do we want to do here? Bank the turn. Okay, send him to engineering school. Okay, that's not helpful. Okay, that's not helpful. We want to think positive here. So we could bank the turn, either make the hill smaller or the turn less sharp. Okay, good ideas. Bank the turn. Any other ideas? What else could we try to do to make the turn less sharp, farther from the hill? Straight part after the hill. Okay. Okay, so let's try this. We're gonna make a hill here. Or a longer gap between the hill and turns. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make a longer gap between the hill and the turn. So it's gonna be a pretty long gap. And then we're also gonna make the turn less sharp. I think for this particular ride, I don't think we're allowed to make the turn bank, I think. But we can try to make the turn less sharp. We could try to make a larger distance between the turn and the hill, or we could put it uphill and then a turn on the uphill part without going doing. So forces going into it, pushing it uphill. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a larger gap here between the hill and then the turn. We're gonna make the turn a little bit less sharp, and let's see if this works. So we'll see. We'll see if this works. I think that first hill might actually be still too tall here, but we'll have to take a look. So I'm gonna complete this, and then we're going to we need to build an entrance, and then we're gonna build an exit. Okay. So we're gonna test here. I think the first hill might actually still be too tall. We'll have to see. Going up, going down. Oh, it made it. It made it through. All right. I was not. I think that I thought the first hill was still too tall, but it actually made it through. So I don't know if you can see here, but so what we did. So we made some changes here, and we allowed and now all these trains are going through perfectly. So what I want you to do now is I just want you to quickly jot down in your notes. What are some of the changes we made, and then why do you think these changes helped the roller coaster succeed? So I'm not gonna say that I'm a roller coaster tycoon too, but I definitely am super good at this. This game actually has really good physics. Like this game was like made in like what 1990. I don't know if it was 19, but it was like made a long. We're talking like my childhood, right? Very long time ago, and the physics in this are honestly really top tier. Like easily some of the best physics in a video game of all time. So this is just a really impressive game in general. So I just want you to quickly jot down what are some of the changes. 2002, yeah, sounds about right. Okay, so I want to quickly jot down what are some of the changes we made, why they worked, and then I'm going to start setting up the second one. CD Projekt Red clearly didn't design it. That's true. It clearly did not design it. Still, shout out to Cyberpunk 2077. It's still a fun game, even though some of the things were wrong. Okay, so worth knowing that the device holding the roller coaster to the track in this ride is at the center of the track and not at the sides. It's like a traditional roller coaster, so the stability would still be less than a normal coaster. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if you, Jackson, I don't know if you played a lot of Roller Coaster Tycoon, or if you just know a lot about roller coasters. But I appreciate all of your knowledge here. One of my friends is like absolute. You're just crazy. One of my friends is an absolute like he loves roller coasters. He just like knows everything about them. So this is honestly inspired by him. Shout out to my friend. Okay, so once you have that written down, we're going to build another one, and we're going to be building a looping roller coaster design. Look at some of these. These are insane. These are insane. I'm not that talented, though. We're going to build another custom design. So once again, we're going to build our station here, nothing crazy. Now, the goal for this one is we want to build a loop-de-loop. And so we are going to start off with increasing the height of this. Make it go down. Okay. Okay, loopy. Look at this. Isn't this so sick? It's a loop-de-loop. So sick. Okay, and then we're gonna keep building it, and then we're gonna make it go around like this. So as you can tell, I'm not banking my turns here. I should be, but I'm just not as good as some of you at this game. So you know how like some streamers are really good at gaming, and then some of them are really incompetent. I'm one of those really incompetent ones. One day I'll stream. Whoa, why is this? Uh-oh, this is not connecting. That's an issue. Mr. Who, what have you done? That's an issue, I think. Uh-oh. Guys, something went wrong here. It's not connecting. What did I do? I have to redo this whole section? Might have to. So as you can tell here, what happened was I think I did something. Oh, it's because of the loop-de-loop, I think. The loop-de-loop, like, yeah, it moves it like one to the left. Yeah, thank you for noticing. Yeah, it makes it go one to the left. I don't know how to fix it though. Maybe if I do something like this. Oh God. I could build another loop-de-loop. That's actually a good idea. Um, connect from the other end too. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm just gonna try this. See if this works. Ah, there we go. Perfect. Okay. So a little bit of fiasco, but I think it all worked out. Okay. So all right. So Mr. Who is currently 0 for 2 in terms of working roller coasters on the first try. How do we feel about this one? So this one is a pretty simple one. We have a big uphill, and then we got a loop-de-loop. So how do we feel about this roller coaster? Do we think this one's gonna work? Yes, Mr. It's gonna work. It's obviously gonna work. Probably won't work. I think that's a little insulting. I think. I bet you made it fail. No, are you serious? I never make it things fail on purpose. This turn kind of sus. Um, you bet I made it fail on purpose. I don't know about that. I don't. Will it get stuck in the loop? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's gonna work, right? It worked the first 2 times on the first try. Remember, you said if I became an engineer, you would never go on anything I made. Same to you. That's hilarious. I definitely said some things like that before. I'm really good. I'm really good at encouraging my students to do great things. Okay, so let's see if this roller coaster works. All right, so we're going up. Sorry, I'm just skipping the uphill part. Oh, it actually did work. Nice. Cool. Okay. So that's okay. So if it works, I mean, that's good. It's a little boring though if it works. Let's make it fail. Yeah, well, your notes are wonky now. Thanks. Yes, I know. I'm supposed to make it fail on purpose, actually. You guessed it. I am supposed to make it fail on purpose. Look at all these doubters. Ah, yes, I know. Haters gonna hate and ain'ters gonna ain't. Okay, so clearly, as you can tell, something went wrong because it's supposed to fail on the first try. Okay. Okay, now since I already ruined the surprise, I think let's just test this, and I want you to let's see if we can figure out why it's failing. Watch this one work again. Watch this one work again. Okay, there we go. It failed. It failed. It failed. Cool. Great. Okay, so why is it failing? Can someone help me? Can someone help me figure out why it's failing? Can't even fail correct. You're so mean. You're so mean. Hill too small. Our hill is too small. Yes, but let's see if we can not enough velocity. Ah, interesting. So what I want you to do now is I just want you to quickly brainstorm why it failed. It's kind of funny because we made it work the first time and then we made it fail the second time. So the order of the notes is going to be flipped. So I want you to think about why did it fail here and what did we do to make it work? The hill is too small, or the distance between the loop and the hill is too long. Interesting. That is a good analysis here. What's the issue though if the hill is too small? We have one idea here. And what's the issue if the distance between the loop is too long? And why can't it go up the loop-de-loop? Like, why can't it? I feel like, once you go on the loop-de-loop, it should be good, right? So I'm just a little confused. Why is the loop-de-loop not working? This looks like it should work. The loop doesn't look that tall. It looks pretty small, actually. Why is it not working? Not enough acceleration built up the hill with gravitational force. Don't a lot of roller coasters have a fail safe on loops, like a pull track towards the top? Is that true? I actually don't know. I actually don't know if that's true, if they have a fail safe. You sound like you probably know better than I do. Because the hill is too far away, speed goes down a lot before I can get there. That's interesting. Not fast enough. Well, we know that it's not fast enough, but thank you for letting us know. We do know it's not fast enough. The loop has too steep of an incline to let the coaster go around after the coaster loses some velocity. Yeah, the loop definitely has too snippy, aren't we? What does snippy even mean? I don't know what it means, but it's provocative. Gets the people going. I'm a very sensitive person. I'm a delicate flower that needs to be carefully watered. Okay, so now that I feel like we've got a pretty good understanding of roller coasters now. I think I didn't even do anything. I just made things fail a bunch of times. What I want you to do now is I want you to hurt or sharp, especially in a condescending way. Bog box and the wavy roller coaster. I'm sorry. We're going to big box instead of. Okay, I'm sorry. We're gonna shift to this one anyways. So use some slides. Yeah. So why things failed. Okay. So now what I want you to do is I want you to try to think about how could you try to predict whether or not a roller coaster could complete a turn or a loop. Now I'm not looking for like a very like super crazy. I'm just looking for some ideas on how could you try to predict whether or not a roller coaster could complete a turn or a loop. How would you try to predict that? So let's just get some ideas going. We'll take maybe 3 minutes or so, and then I want to hear some ideas from people on whether or not, how could you try to predict whether or not a roller coaster could complete a turn or a loop? You just look at it and see if it makes sense. Okay. So how do you know if it makes sense? Because honestly, a couple of the designs I thought would actually work or wouldn't work. Kind of eyeball it and see if it looks like the speed going into a turn is too much. Okay. Okay. So when you're eyeballing it, when you're looking at it, what are you looking for? Like if you think the speeder will be right. Yeah. I mean, like we do care if the speeder will be right, but what are you looking for? How do you know if you think what are you looking for when you determine whether or not the speed will be too much? Like what are the criteria that you're looking for? Like if the turn is right off of a hill, it's not going to work. So why won't it work if it's coming right off of a hill? Why do you think it's going to work? Might not work right after it's coming. How sharp the turn is how far it needs to go up too fast usually. Okay. So okay. See who built it. If it's someone here, it won't. I actually do trust some people here. There are a lot of we actually have a couple of roller coaster fanatics here who I actually would trust to build a working roller coaster. Just not me, of course. You're looking for the distance between the end of the first hill, depending on whether or not it's a turn or a loop-de-loop. The height of the first hill and the distance between the different elements of the ride, loops, hills, and turns can determine, I think. The speed will be too fast. If you have a space between the hill and turn, it will slow down. You could predict this by looking at what comes before the loop and assessing if the cart will have enough velocity to make the loop, or if it's completing a turn, if the velocities are low enough, the turn is wide enough. Yeah, interesting. We have some good ideas here. We're gonna take another minute or so just for give people a chance to get their ideas in, and then we're going to do another fun little thing. Okay, so the game we just played was called Roller Coaster Tycoon. What we're gonna do now is we're actually gonna play a different game. We're gonna be playing a game called Project Cars. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but Project Cars is a super There we go. Okay. So Project Cars is like a very like real. Let me know if you can see. I think you guys can see it right now. It's like a very realistic car simulation. So a lot of racing games, they're kind of unrealistic. You can't say, okay, good. A lot of racing games are very unrealistic because like the handling is like, it's like one of those things where you can go into a turn at 150 miles an hour and make it like make a U-turn. This game is not one of those. This game is very realistic. So because of that, you'll actually see why. I'm actually really bad at this game. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at some of the things that you know how before we were looking at whether or not we. I'm gonna give you we're gonna see like what it feels like to go too fast into a turn. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a custom race here. So first let's pick a vehicle here. What kind of car do we want to drive today? We got a Beamers, we got our Acuras. We have this like really like crappy Ford from. Of course, your Priuses are not good for racing. Would you say Forza is realistic? Forza is not super realistic, I think. I think Project Cars is probably the most. A Toyota Prius. I don't know if we have a Prius in here. Obviously, we do want to race Priuses because Priuses are great cars. We don't have a Prius in here, actually. Here's the one thing how do you guys feel about this one? A go-kart. Do you like this one? We have a go-kart here. We also have this really like crappy Ford from the 1960s. Like this one right here, this Ford Escort from 1971. We could also drive this one, or we could also drive like a really fast one, like one of these ones, like really fast. Let's get a quick. Wait, do the Jeep? Do we have a Jeep in here? Which one's the Jeep? It was next to the bad Ford. Okay. Oh, this one? Okay. All right. Okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna pick a course. Which course do we want to do? We need one with a lot of like turns. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is I'm only gonna play like one. We're just gonna do like one lap. And we're gonna see me get last here. So what I first want you to do is I first want you to notice how easy it is for me to make turns. I want you to notice. I want you to pay attention here. I want you to notice how easy it is for me to make turns. Like when I'm able to make a turn, when I'm able to fail. I want you to look at the road itself, and I want you to notice conditions of the road. I want you to notice like how does that affect whether or not I'm able to make a turn. So I want you to notice a little bit some of this. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at maybe a couple of different cars here, and we're also gonna take a look at some of the also a few different racing conditions, I think. So right now this is gonna be a clear day. We're on this German course, the Hockenheim GP Grand Prix. I think the weather's gonna be pretty nice. And I'm gonna see me fail really badly. So let's just start because okay. So this is a pretty complicated race menu here. Oh, why is this not? Oh, I think the controller scheme is. Hold on. Okay, it's something. Oh wait, hold on. I have a controller here that I'm using, but I'm not sure why it's not working. Getting left in the dust as usual. Worst case scenario, I'll just use my keyboard. I'm not sure why it's not working. It's a lot harder to race this on a keyboard. Okay, we might just have to do this on a keyboard here. It's not working. Okay, so let's see. Okay, we're going about 60 miles an hour here. My game's a little laggy. I'm playing on my laptop right now. Okay, we're gonna come into this first turn here. Let's see how. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh god. Oh god. That was pretty bad. Oh, look at my car here. Okay, so why did I fail to make that first one? What's going on? And look at my car try to turn right now. What's the issue here? Like, I'm having a hard time turning right now. I think my car is stuck actually. There we go. All right, here we go. So, what's going? Okay. So I failed the first lack of skill. I saw 3 frames. Oof, I'm sorry. Again, I'm sorry. I'm doing my best here. Lack of skill. Yes, I know. Okay, so I think I was going the first turn around 90 miles an hour. I'm gonna slow it down to 45. Here we go. We made this first turn right here. So the first turn we went at 90, we failed it really bad. The next one we went at 50, we're pretty good. So we're also doing this on the road right now. Let's take a look at what happens if you lost grip because we were going too fast. Yes, we were going too fast. Let's take a look at what happens if I try to do this on if I try to make the turn on like grass or something. So last time we did it on the road, you saw more frames, but I can count how many. That's hilarious. Okay, so last time I think we did it on the, ooh, we're going too fast here. I'm trying to find a section where it's like where there's like a lot of like a lot of dirt or grass or something. But if we can, I'm gonna switch it up real quick. You have to use the apex of the turn. I'm actually really bad at this game. But yes, you are correct. Slow down to avoid giving a penalty by race control. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to notice some of the things that are affecting my ability to make a turn. I'm also driving a pretty big car. I want you to notice when I'm losing traction on the road. Like this right now, I think I'm on like the dirt. I want you to notice how I have really bad traction here. It's really top heavy. That is true. Like look how hard it is to make a turn when you're on the grass. Okay. So as you can tell here, I failed pretty badly. What I want you to do, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at what happens when we fail even worse than we just did. We failed pretty badly there. I want you to notice when I failed really badly. Like there's some times where I was going into a turn way too hot. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to change the weather. We're going to make the weather. We're going to make it like a blizzard. No, like a blizzard, right? It's going to be really crappy weather. And then we're going to take a look at what happens here. We'll go same card. Keep consistent. Use a Prius. There's no Prius in this game. I would use a Prius. There's no Prius in this game. That's the issue. Maybe I can like find like a Prius, like a mod or something, and download it. So as you can tell, I failed pretty bad there. But now we're driving in the snow, and so I want you to notice how much worse I fail here. That's bull. I'm sorry that it's bull. I feel like a lot of you are also judging my ability to play games. I'm a gamer. But hey, you know. Okay, so it's snowing now, heavy blizzard. Oh boy. So it's snowing pretty much. It's snowing pretty heavy. I can barely see, but the thing about the snow is it also really affects your ability to make turns. Like I only went through that turn at like 60 miles an hour, and I was like barely like making the turn here. Snow is really picking up. I think maybe after a while the snow will really like pile up on the road. There's a few courses here when it's like really rain. Oh god. Let's ignore that. So I'm really struggling to make these turns here because the road is really snowy. Like I'm like drifting all over the place because you have so little traction on the road. So why do you think that? What's the issue here? Because it's the same course with the same car. So why would the snow make it so much harder to control the car? What's the issue here? What do you guys think? Why does it make it so much harder to make a turn? Traction on the ground is a lot worse. So less friction, yeah. So it is less friction. Does it make the road slicker? It does make the road slicker, right? So if everything was the same and the only thing that changed was the snow, then snow makes the less porous, so there's less friction. That is true. So when I'm making a turn here, what force would you say is allowing me to make a turn? Like what force am I relying on to make a turn? What force am I relying on to make a turn here? I think you guys have all said it a bunch of times, but I'm very curious. So what I'm failing a lot here, by the way. So what force is allowing me to make turns? What am I relying on? And what happens if I don't have enough of the force? Right, there's a force that I'm relying on here. It's weird because you don't really think about it this way. Anyone have any ideas? What force am I relying on to make these turns? Applied. Well, my applied forces. That's a good guess. And I guess you kind of are applying a force when you're turning it. But I think the main one we're looking. The thing is that most of your applied force is going into the engine, and it's going straight, right? Your engine's going straight. The force that we're really relying on, I think, is friction, as most of you are saying here. If you without friction, what happens is the inertia will make you continue going forward. Exactly. So I'm relying on friction to make these turns here, right? But if it's snowy, or if I'm going too fast, I won't have enough friction to make these turns. So now, unfortunately, we're going to stop gaming, unfortunately, because gaming is as fun as gaming is. We want to talk about what's going on behind these games here. And so what we're going to do now is I want you to think about what are some, if you were in a car, based on 107 individual frames. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying. I know you guys are shitting on me. Oh, crapping on me. Sorry, pardon my language, but I'm trying my best. Okay, so what I want to, now that we're on slides, so I don't think the lack of a frame rate should be an issue here. If you're in a car, what things can affect your ability to make a turn? And I want you to think about, why is it so hard to make a turn when you're moving very fast? What things can affect your ability to make a turn? Oh, you can't see the slide. Gosh. Oh, you really can't see anything. So in a car, what things do you think could affect your ability to make a turn? Why is it so hard to make a turn when you're moving very fast? So based on our very limited gaming experience just now with me driving, what are some of the things that affected my ability to make a turn? And why is it so hard to make a turn when you're moving very fast? The traction on the ground, the speed of the car. So in a car, what are some things that you think could affect your ability to make a turn? Why is it so hard to make a turn? So some things that we think could affect our ability to make a turn is the velocity of the car, the mass of the car, the amount of friction on the road, the amount of traction on the ground, and the speed of the car. The car wants to keep going forwards, but the turn is too janky. Yeah, so these are all some things that can affect the ability to make a turn. The center of gravity of the car, that also can affect the ability to make a turn. How sharp the turn is can really affect. If the turn is really wide, it's going to be a lot easier to make a turn. If the turn is really sharp, it's going to be really hard to make the turn. Yeah, so like amount of traction. So the amount of traction, that's sort of like, if you're on like dirt or snow or water, you're not going to have that much traction. Whereas if you're on asphalt, you're going to have a lot of traction. the kind of tires you have also determines how much traction you have. Road conditions, weather conditions, absolutely. Those can also really affect your ability to make a turn. When it's really rainy or when it's really snowy, as you saw, well, as you kind of saw, it definitely affects your ability to make a turn here. So, yeah, so those are some things that affect your ability to make a turn. So let's take a look at the main force that we are using to make a turn. So the main force, so this is probably the main idea for today. And we'll review it next class as well. Here's the thing. When you're making a turn, the thing that essentially allows you to make the turn is something called centripetal force. A lot of you have heard of this before, centripetal force, but you might not know what that is. So it's basically the force that pushes your car into the middle of a turn, right? It's basically like if you're driving straight, it's like imagine if there was a force pushing your car directly into the turn. And so it's a force that pushes your car into the turn. It basically accelerates your car to the middle of a circle, and it allows it to turn, right? So that's what the centripetal force is. It's a force that allows the car to make a turn. Now, the thing about the centripetal force that is really weird is it's not actually a real force. It's an imaginary force. There is no real force in nature called a centripetal force, right? It's not a force, right? It's actually more of a net force. So when you take a look at all the forces acting on the car, right, and you sum it up, right, that sum of all the forces when it's turning is called a centripetal force. And there's like a certain ratio of stuff that you need in order for the car to make the turn. So basically what happens is you have a bunch of forces acting on the car, right? You're going to take the net force of it, and then you're going to, and the net force acting on it will be the centripetal force on the car. And you need to have a certain amount of force in order for the car to go in a circle. And these various forces will combine to constitute the centripetal force. So the thing is, right, once again, the centripetal force is not a real force. It's not a real force. So if you're drawing a free body diagram, right, I don't want you to draw a centripetal force because it's not a real force. You want to think of it as, okay, in order for it to make a turn, I need to have a centripetal force of this much, but I got to think about what forces are creating the centripetal force. And some of the forces that usually might interact to produce the centripetal force are things like gravity, friction, and like the normal force. So these three forces are all forces that can combine to produce a centripetal force for you. So when you're thinking about when a car is making a turn, right, the centripetal force is needed in order to make the car turn. But you need to have other forces that produce a centripetal force, right? For example, when your car is turning without friction, your car can't turn without friction. That friction is producing the centripetal force for you. So when you're going around a turn, there's a centripetal force pushing your car into the middle of the turn. And that centripetal force is coming from the friction of the road. Without that friction, you would not be able to make the turn. One of your friends has told me that it didn't exist and has since forgotten what centripetal force is. Someone clearly did not have Mr. Hu as a teacher because you will never forget anything that Mr. Hu is telling you in physics. So yes, the centripetal force is not a real force. However, you need to have a certain amount of centripetal force in order to make the turn. And so you got to think about, because we don't learn anything to forget. That is so mean. Wow, you're really just roasting me today. So you need to have a certain amount of centripetal force to make a turn. And you got to think about what forces are allowing me or are pushing on the car to produce this centripetal force. How much more time do we have? We have 2 minutes left. Okay. So I guess I'm just going to quickly go through this last one. So the amount of force you need to make a turn is the amount of centripetal force you need to make a turn is mv squared over r. So v is how fast your car is going, r is the radius of the turn, and m is the mass of the car. And v squared over r is your centripetal acceleration. It's basically how fast are you accelerating to the middle of the circle. And so this is basically the net force acting on the car in order to make a turn is mv squared over r, right? So you know how Ft is equal to ma? When you're working in terms of when you're making in terms of turns, that that acceleration turns into v squared over r. So that basically the sum of all forces in this particular scenario is going to equal mv squared over r. So you might, oh, you guys can't even see the slide. Is the v squared or so it's just the v squared. The v is squared, the m is not squared. So as you can see here, it's the v is squared, the m is not squared. I think I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna go over this again next. Go over this part next class. But I just want you to just get it down in your heads for now. This is a pretty important formula in terms of working with circular motion. So F equals ma is in general. F is equal to mv squared of r is when you're working with terms, right? It's like a more specific version of F equals ma. So this is a very good thing to know when you're working with circular motion. And is there anything you should have said today? No, don't say anything today because we're gonna keep working on this next class. But we actually got through, I think, most of what I wanted to get through today. So I'm pretty happy about that. There's nothing you need to submit today. And we're gonna finish this next class. So it's 9:55 right now. So just quickly write down whatever things you need to write down. No homework. We're gonna continue this next class. The quarter grades are due soon. So submit everything you haven't submitted yet. Over the next couple of days, I'm going to be just grading stuff in and then putting your grades in, so you don't panic. But that's pretty much it for today. If you have any questions, let me know, or if you need something from me, just let me know. Other than that, I will see you guys all on Thursday. I hope you guys had fun today. I certainly had fun. But yeah, we'll see you guys on Thursday. If you resubmit it by putting in comments, should we email you? Yeah, it's helpful if you email me so that way I'll know to look for yours. It was fun. Thank you. I appreciate it. I hope it was fun.
Thank you, Mr. Hu.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hu.